been tested in the Gobi Desert. It was also driven on one of China's most dangerous roads at over 5,000 meters above sea level. It is the latest Chinese wave to hit Malaysia. This is the Jaecoo J7.
The J7 is a unique car, and I'm not even talking about the design, features or capabilities yet. It's unique because it's about the same size as a CR-V, CX-5, Subaru Forester and the X70. But like the X70, it's priced closer to the smaller Honda HR-V and Toyota Corolla Cross.
There are two variants of the J7. Front-wheel drive at 138,000 ringgit and all-wheel drive at 148,000 ringgit. With the all-wheel drive, you get a larger screen, extra drive modes to tackle different terrains, and privacy glass as standard. In a way, you can say the J7 is killing two birds with one stone.
Actually, it's more like killing four birds with one stone. It's big, but it costs less. And then on one hand, you have futuristic design, premium interior, and modern features. On the other hand, you have off-road capabilities. We took this car to the M4 track off-road training course and it went through all the obstacles without much issues on road tyres.
On how it looks, I think it's very proportionate. And more importantly, for a not very expensive SUV, it has a posh look. People really do look at this car, partly because it's new, but I'm sure this massive grille, these checkered flag daytime running lights have something to do with it.
What I like about this front section is how square and flat it is. Makes it really easy to estimate when you're parking.
The overall design isn't just about style. There is some thought behind it. The short front and rear overhangs make it easier to climb up and down slopes. Its 200mm ground clearance also means a little flooding or a small curb wouldn't bother the J7. The J7 may be built on the same platform as the Chery Tiggo 7, but as you can see, they look completely different. And if I have to choose, I'll go for this one.
A lot of people have said that it kinda looks like a certain Range Rover. I guess you can see why, especially with the two-tone exterior, the side windows that taper towards the back. Even the rear wiper position is the same, tucked underneath the rear spoiler. As a result, the J7 has a very clean look that I think a lot of people can easily like. In fact, it has such a clean look that even the exhaust tips are fake. I wouldn't call it a Range Rover look-alike, but if you look into the Jaecoo brand, there's actually a relationship between them.
Since 2012, Jaecoo's parent company, Chery, has partnered Jaguar Land Rover to assemble Jaguars and Range Rovers in China. Jaecoo's chief engineer, Peter John Matkin, was from Jaguar Land Rover, and just to add more muscle, they even got this guy to be chief designer. Spent over 30 years at Mercedes-Benz.
Come on, you're telling me our friend here didn't take some of his old tricks and implement in a new playground? One thing's for sure though, the Jaguar Land Rover influence doesn't stop there.
For that reason, we're taking the J7 for a quick drive to Port Dickson, and since we've already gone off-road at the M4 track off-road training course, this time I want to play in the sand. I don't know if this is a lesson from Jaguar Land Rover, but I've spent a few days in this car and the thing I like most is how quiet the cabin is, how well insulated it is.
It comes with double glazed windows in the front, so when you wind up the windows, it's quite obvious how much noise it cancels out. Whether at low speeds or high speeds, it's quiet in here. This, I think, is the J7's biggest USP. After getting to try so many cars, I can quite confidently tell you this level of cabin insulation is normally only available in cars close to, if not more than 200,000 ringgit. Even so, there aren't many. The Subarus are quite good in this department though. The sound system is good enough for me. It's a Sony. Should be the same one as the Chery Tiggo 7. Most SUVs in this price range come with 4 to 6 speakers. In this one, you get 8.
The other major USP of the J7 is this. Not just the seats, but seat ventilation. Another feature you'd normally find in cars over 200,000 ringgit. Even then, not many. This starts from 138,000 ringgit.
On a hot day, when you're wearing shorts, turn the function on. Skeptics might say this is all pseudo-luxury, it's a facade. But when you start experiencing the car, the quiet cabin, the comfortable seats, the seat ventilation, there is a premium touch. It's not just incredible value for money. What the J7 has done here is make premium features more accessible to a wider audience. And I'm not even done yet.
The wide headrests are just like on an actual Range Rover. There's a 2-story center console, a head-up display, not to mention a panoramic roof. Even the aircon system is fully kitted. You have an ionizer that turns on automatically if the cabin air is not clean, an automatic defogger, and this, which turns on the ionizer once you've locked the car to clean the air or smell inside the cabin.
As always, I don't like that there are no physical buttons for the aircon, but at least there is a shortcut button here for the settings.
Speaking of buttons, there's a shortcut button on the steering wheel for different functions. You can use it to access the main menu or take screenshots of the dashcam recording.
I don't normally use the shortcut button on the steering wheel, but now, because there are so little physical buttons, this is actually useful, especially to take screenshots of the dashcam recording or to access the car's main menu from Apple CarPlay, among other functions. As for the ride, I think it's comfortable enough. For something under 140,000 ringgit, I think a lot of people will find this acceptable. It's quite stable through the corners, but if you can afford it, I'd recommend getting better tyres. These GT tyres are adequate, but can be better, especially in the wet. 19-inch wheels though, not gonna be cheap if you're gonna go for the Michelins and Bridgestones. As for fuel consumption, it's actually alright. For the last few days, I've been clocking between 11 to 12 litres per 100 kilometers. And we are already in Port Dickson. We started the journey with less than half a tank and we still have at least a quarter to go.
The J7 may be a comfortable cruiser, but it's not bad on smaller roads either.
On these narrow winding roads, this being an all-wheel drive, you do feel that added assurance, that extra traction. 4 wheels clawing onto the road instead of 2. Visibility is pretty good and the car doesn't feel too big. I can't believe this is what you can get now for under 140,000 ringgit. It's well equipped in so many areas and it offers so much more than what 140,000 used to offer. It's not just full of features, but features that you normally only get in more expensive cars. In terms of the overall interior, I think there are just enough details. It's not overdone or too over the top.
Together with the stylish exterior, the premium interior, I believe will draw a lot of people to this car, and that seems to be the case. After asking around, I heard that bookings for the J7 were already in the thousands.
I always say no car is perfect, and this, again, is no exception.
It has a tissue box storage, but you'll need time to find the right packaging.
Despite all the impressive features that the J7 offers, it's not very talented in copywriting. If Cherry is looking for someone to improve that, I'm open for hire. The functions are laid out very nicely, but some of them you really have to decipher what they're trying to say. Close to guess. Forget reminder. Remember to forget or forget to remind. This one should just be walk away auto lock. I personally believe details matter and fundamental things like that shouldn't be neglected. At the back, as you can see, it's spacious but also versatile. The seats can be upright like this, but you can also recline, push the front passenger seat forward and have a limo-style setup. You can also sleep in it if you want. The competition is really heating up now. While I'd say the J7 or Jaecoo as a whole still has some lessons to learn from the traditional brands, especially in terms of overall smoothness, power delivery, gear changes. But looking at all this at that price, I think the traditional brands are now on alert.
There's good reason for that, because the J7 has yet another trick up its sleeve.
If you opt for the all-wheel drive model, you get the additional sand, mud, snow, off-road drive modes. And I think we're in the right place to try that.
It's so well prepared for rough terrains that in snow mode, the head-up display even turns blue to contrast the white snow. It can wade through water with depths up to 60 centimeters, tow over a ton of weight, and even support up to 75 kilograms on its roof.
Even on this loose sandy surface on road tires, it's still finding some grip for me.
That's because the J7 is equipped with torque vectoring, allowing the car to monitor road conditions and distribute power between the front and rear wheels with the most grip. It can also distribute power between the left and right wheels for the most traction.
It's still only a mile off-roader though. I wouldn't take advantage of it.
When you're done messing around in the sand, the J7's decent 412-litre boot means the party doesn't have to stop. In fact, after shooting this video, Jaecoo even told us that the boot has been updated to be slightly bigger. We've had plenty of boot space for our camera and outdoor equipment. There are anchor points to hold your items, hooks, a 12-volt socket, the boot height is adjustable, and it even comes with a full-size spare. As a result, the boot floor is slightly higher, but because of that, you get a near flat floor when you fold the second row seats. You can practically park it by the beach, by the hill, and sleep in it. As a newcomer in Malaysia and the world over, the Jaecoo J7 now shows that we can have more for less. It's a near complete package that bundles style and refinement, technology and versatility, and you don't have to pay house prices to enjoy them. While it's far from perfect, the J7 seems to have got off to a good start, and given all its features and abilities, it's already setting a very high bar for the rest. For more information on the Jaecoo J7, do log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon for the latest notifications on our newest videos.